Welcome to Germany for today's qualifying session at the famous Hockenheim ring. The pit lane lights will turn green in the next minute or two to signify the start of qualifying. This is a track that tends to ask quite a lot of the tyres, both front and rear. So is it fair to say a great deal of management will be needed in order to do well here?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre, but it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard you can push them depends on your strategy and how tight the battle is around you.
Okay, you should be able to get into the next qualifying session easily, so try to get a hot lap in early so we can save the tyres.
Jeff says that and we're finally back. Only took me one day actually to get out this next episode, so that's pretty good. But knowing that it's going to start off wet in the race means I'm going to use my set of mediums now to get them out of the way. I'm joking, I'm going to use softs only. Just because it doesn't matter, so. Just gonna fast forward a bit into the session. Probably put this up to 10 after what happened in the last round. And this down to, well, I can change the front wing whenever, so for now I'll just make it 6. See how 6 goes, see if that's too much or too little. Probably means I can go flat through turn 1 with like 9-10 wings in quali. Because quali error doesn't matter, but at the end of the race that's where we'll be storming through the field. The AI won't have a chance against us. So, because just our engine power, we got the 2 engine upgrades through from last round. Both of them coming onto the car, and that was a terrible turn 1, so I should probably just shut up. But yeah, both engine upgrades coming onto the car for this round. I'm probably going to try and max out the engine before moving on to finishing aero and or doing chassis. Because chassis is definitely our weak point, but I don't really care, to say the truth. Because who cares about a bad chassis? Yeah, it just means that the car feels terrible through corners. But you'll see I'm still able to truck it in and do something fine through the third sector. I'm sure about to see. I'm still able to truck the car in like nothing's wrong. So like, I don't see why you actually need a chassis. Yeah, it was a bit of a corner, that was a really bad corner, I'm not gonna lie. So it might not be going that well, but hey, it's going okay. Considering it's the first lap, not bad. But I'm gonna push on for another one. Considering the fact that in the third sector I can just run none and have a similar pace. The RS to me isn't a big issue, because we got the third sector which is basically non-central if you're low on the RS. And you barely lose any time compared to running hot lap. If anything, it's pretty faster. Jeff, shut up, man. Might as well be Alan McAnally. I just proves how bad my ending to the third sector was last lap. My third sector in general was last lap. I'm down here. What is this? I have no pace. Right, it's just me, or do I genuinely have no pace here in quali? It's probably the fact that I had to run such high rear wing to compensate. But this is like actually confusing how I have no speed. Like, it definitely is something to tell.
Best lap so far is a 1 minute 11.9.
Well, this is only like 2/10 faster than what I set. And like, oh, I'm barely safe. Like, I'm literally 10th safe. At first sector I'm OP, middle sector I'm slow. I'm like the only car in the 34s. It's because I'm running a setup which doesn't exactly help for the middle sector, which is just straight. But still, even then I'm far off. Like, the middle sector is just the killer because of our 10-year-old when we're trying to run for the race. Obviously I don't have to run it, but it would obviously help considering what happened last time out. Yeah, understand I can absolutely spec out the final corner.
30 seconds left in the session.
Purple through the first sector, but through the middle sector, we'll probably gain quite a lot of time compared to our last lap, because we gained almost a 10th and a half, I would want to say. No, I'm genuinely confused why I have no pace. Only a 10th off of Bottas. And that is all time in the third sector. Don't know how, considering this is where I used to gain all my time on AI. It's because all we have is straight line speed and I ain't got any error to compensate. As with Galvin to P5, but we had to use 2 sets of softs to get up there. And it just proves a lack of speed. Really isn't there. Like, I'm sorry, the speed isn't really there, well, massive lack thereof. Third sector we lost 2 tenths, which isn't surprising. I'm really, like, Q2, like, that's scary, but I don't think there's any shock outs. Not really. Okay, maybe Kubica, but considering where his teammate is, not that surprising, but there wasn't any shock outs this race, but Q2 there's gonna be some shock outs, at least in my opinion, shock, so I wouldn't feel safe if I was me yet. So yeah, I'm gonna run this set at the beginning, see what I can do. I just feel like our car just has no pace, which is really awkward, because in practice 3 I was a 10th fastest. I know that I only really turn up the engines in Q3, and that's when they only really actually start setting competitive lap times. So I myself am just confused at how faster than me in the last session, but I'm not gonna take, it's not gonna be that weird. But 3 tenths off in top 5, so it just proves that it is quite a close grid. But obviously a lack thereof, or even not enough straight line speed, like, that's the time I set at the beginning of last session on this set of tyres, and that was a threat, and now, like, I feel like I can barely even match Pierre, just because I have to worry about the race. Because the race is going to be majority of it wet, so I've got to think ahead for that rather than for quality. It's going to be dry at the end, so I Dry period at the end isn't going to be fun for me. Which is just great.
Okay, you're in the top 10.
So yeah, that's not a good lap. That's not going to see us through. But that was on a scrub set, so. And go try and use the mediums because they'll still be faster than that. So yeah, right now I'm P13. I'm in the purple first sector. The middle sector would miles off, so. This just shows how badly we'd be messed up with the rain.
If we don't get it to 10th or higher, we won't progress to the shootout. Give it your best shot.
I really swear, can I just like not get a dry Germany? Pretty sure last season we had a weather affected Germany, but actually there we had a good result in P6. Because on pad there's like almost no reason to worry about your setup between conditions, but on wheel you gotta really worry about it. Like, I've literally got so much straight line speed, like, I'm setting what I was saying in practice too. Like, this is literally 0.02 seconds faster than what I'm doing in practice 2, which is just proving that the setup is holding us back here, as I really was not aggressive through there. It was actually a bad run through there. But it was through that corner, great. There's a sausage just 2 in P8. This is just a really weird qualifying for me. It's really not what I would have hoped for, but. Any surprise outs? Not really. Yep, we got a Haas. Grosjean being out is also a shock, but we got all the top 5 teams except instead of Grosjean we got Weber, so yeah, but that's kind of script because of how OP Weber normally is in career mode, so. No, it's not really a shock. And on to Q3 where I'm probably going to qualify like 10th. But in the race tomorrow hopefully I'll actually pace, so. I'm going to try and use this set, and I want to use this set but just in case it's dry enough. Actually, yeah, dry enough at the end, I might just go this set then this set. So yeah, that's definitely me starting from low down the grid. So yeah, I'll just go for a 8-10 setup on this tyre. See how far up the grid that gets us. See if this really has any pace. Because 8-10 wings, not very much, but in comparison to what I'm running, I don't know. So yeah, we'll just go get out of the way of the Merc. Take the Vettel line through there, just in case he was on a flyer, which I don't think he was, but safe than sorry. 8-10 wings. This basically gets rid of any speed advantage we have, and chucks it with a Shundown Shrine, just for stability in the corners. as Gasly goes a second off what he did last session, so that just shows that he didn't have a good first part of the session, but I learned from last round we've got to balance out the setup to be able to manage in the race. Hamilton gets in the 110s, which I'd probably be able to get in if I didn't have to compromise my setup for the race, so this is just a really annoying quali for me. So yeah, that gets us at the back of the grid, not a surprise. It's, I'm pretty sure, 20.5, which is
our best lap so
pretty
far
abysmal.
is a 1:12.7.
12.7. Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry. Not 20.5. Don't know why I said 20.5. But Hamilton fastest in all three sectors. So... oh, I didn't change the setup. That's fine. And yeah, prioritise downforce anyway. Okay, I'm gonna get out of everyone's way. Because I know now that we're gonna be on a flyer, but either way. Dang it. Try to waste fuel here. There we go. So obviously that brought a small bit of wear on the tyres. It's all worth it for that tiniest bit less fuel. Small cut, but nothing big. Purple first sector. Doesn't mean I'll have pace in the middle sector though, because I was faster than this in practice down this back straight, and that was without the max fuel mode, so all the AI are probably gaining on me down that back straight, which should be McLaren's strong point. But it's fine. Supposed to be 1 point something seconds faster, this is, and right now it's showing that. And right now the player is P8 on timing sheet, and we go P5, which pushes him down to P9. So
and with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Bottas, Hamilton and Kevin Magnussen. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So yeah, obviously this is not a reflection of the true pace. An 11-1. I'm saying I could have challenged for pole if it was a dry race tomorrow. Meaning that we don't have the limitations on the setup, which sadly we do. And that's just proving that it's on 100 AI. Oh yeah, going back here, it's going to be disappointing in my opinion, but for the team it was good because I'm only supposed to get 8.
Good qualifying performance.
Yeah, I'm saying we need to start focusing on rear downforce. But obviously, I don't care. Because obviously I'm a little bit special, meaning that we're going to max out the engine power first. When I say I'm special, people judge me and say, no you're not. No, the actual part of the car that matters, cornering, yeah, who needs that? Let's go for the opposite of the Red Bull approach. Let's go for the Williams approach. Straight on speed only.
There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me. It's 2.8 miles around the Hockenheim ring then, and some fairly wet conditions to overcome on this 17-corner circuit. The long, curved back straight leads into a tight hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity. But expect to see the cars running wide, as braking offline could prove very difficult indeed. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's begin by talking about Antonio Giovinazzi. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Magnussen, Vettel, Oldtimer, and Verstappen, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Leclerc, and Lucas Faber, Russell, Butler, Sergio Perez, and Grosjean, Raikkonen, Norris, Carlos Sainz, and Daniel Ricciardo. Kubica and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish. Great start. Let's get back on track.
So yeah, the race so far not been a very good start. As I was thinking, we've had a bit of a Max Verstappen start, but hopefully we can make a Max Verstappen-esque comeback later on in the dry period at the end. Weather report, and it still doesn't pick up on my voice.
10 minutes before we see a transition over to light rain. Full wets seem like the best tyre for now.
10 minutes until light rain. I think I need to just watch going full throttle out of corners. I think that's why I'm losing all the time. Especially at the hairpin. The only saving grace is our power unit. Imagine if we didn't have an OP power unit in this car. Imagine if our engine wasn't OP and we had like a Toro Rosso engine. Which actually isn't half bad, but as I say that, bad traction out of there. Which somehow doesn't make us lose out on our P11. So, I'm grateful for that, at least.
We're expecting the rain to get better in around 5 minutes. Light rain in 5 minutes time.
So yeah, I probably should have gone through it all dry setup considering how bad it was, and I should have increased the rear wing by like 2 clicks. But yeah, if I hadn't, I'd probably be in plum loss right now doing donuts, so always got to look at the bright side of everything. Might be down here, might not have the best setup for the dry, but I've proved that we're faster than our teammate in dry conditions, as we actually get purple in the third sector. It's proving that we have really set up the car for the third sector, and that we don't need the first 2 sectors, because those 2 are for jamming specs. Yeah, we're just gonna overtake down the back straight. With my setup isn't very good, but as if I hadn't taken the hairpin very specially, we've hit into Weber, but Perez are going to come back at me anyway because of how stupid this game is with giving players exits. I will never get how that happens, but I'm not judging because I'm not Cody's. All I'm saying is just have how the actual players compared to the AI, because right now the AI is too OP. But through the third sector, that's where I can really handle mine, so yeah. In the sector I was most scared of is one where I can actually handle my own in the wet, so probably doesn't help.
The circuit's definitely looking better than it was a few minutes ago. If we could just move a bit more of that standing water, we might be able to get onto the intermediates.
So it's almost time for the inters, according to Jeff, as we can kind of see that the AI are now starting to train up behind Max Verstappen. So Verstappen has become me from the opening laps as Weber hits us, which is just great. And he's going to get way better traction because AI equals traction.com. And as you can see, Lucas Weber is going to get overtaken around the outside into the hairpin. But he's probably got out of traction. Yeah, like when I hit 4th gear as a player, when you hit 4th gear out of the Hockenheim hairpin, just prepare to have no pace. Just not go like when you hit 4th gear in general. Like there is so much engine lag in these cars.
+1 lap of extra fuel target, +1.
Yeah, that's calm, because it means in the engine and dryers we'll have more fuel to play around with. So I'm hoping to make a effective 0 stop on, so just a box onto dry tyres and then control the rest to the end. I'm not even sure if we have a set of softs. No, we only ever use softs, which is great. Don't you just love, if you want to run on softs, you gotta use used ones. Best feeling in the world. But either way, we are gaining on this train, which makes me think Verstappen has an issue with his car. As I'm sorry, the AI are never this slow in the rains, especially not Max Verstappen. And the point that I even think Russell on the minimap, I think, is actually getting very close to Max. But then just out of the hairpin, man. Yeah, just between third and fourth gear, man. The game just likes to bend not nice things to me. Like, it's not much better in the dries and inters, but it's definitely way better than this, so... Obviously running P9 and 10 in McLaren is not what we would want when we're third best now. But, in the rain our car doesn't excel. We basically have a car just set up for pure dry conditions, as all we have is straight line speed, which you don't really need in the wet. In the wet you need aero and chassis to really be able to chuck it in and feel confident in the wet. Like, what I'm saying is, if I didn't get like those stupid exits out of the hairpin, I'm kind of out of here too, but although it's not as bad out of there, but just out of the chicane and just into the second sector, I would be good. Basically second sector and end of first sector is just a killer for me. As we almost hit Charles, as we actually go round Charles is outside and he doesn't leave us any space. That's a bad exit for both of us, meaning that Perez has got to come at me, especially because AI get holy jumps out of that corner, so I'm surprised none of my front wing came off, but Charles didn't see me coming, so...
Okay, could be a risk with this circuit this greasy, but we think the slick might now be the quicker tyre. If you think you can keep it on the road, let's consider swapping over.
Okay, are you guys even hearing Jeff right now? He's saying it's time for the slicks. Oh my, this guy's a bit of a crackhead. I knew he was special, but is he even watching the race? Okay, let's ask him again, see if it even makes a difference.
Right, consensus in the garage is that it's probably about time for the slick tyre now. It will be slippery, it will probably be quicker.
Yeah, as you can see, Jeff clearly is not watching the race, as we're still going deep into corners on the full wets, but apparently going deep this time actually helps, as we actually get in front of our teammate, who's probably just going to fly back past us on this straight. I say that, but he's slower, so that's confusion. It's he's probably got past us on the exit out of here.
Increase ERS deployment. It's time to use some of this charge.
So yeah, I just realised if I want to not get that bad of an exit, I gotta automatically do the third to fourth gear shifts. Because the game likes to really late shift that in the wet, so that is very good to know. As you can see, personal best, even though I've made an overtake, so also probably got something to do with how the track's slowly drying out. You can see Bottas setting fastest lap, but at this point in the race the fast lap doesn't matter because we all know it's going to get to dries by the end, so
The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1 minute 27.1.
we actually have a run on Russell, which is just great. But we tried the deep run again, but stick it up his inside, he doesn't leave us any space, so we kind of have to push him out. Which I don't like doing, but when the AI gives you no choice, you gotta go for it.
Brilliant. Nice move.
Yeah, considering he didn't give us any space, I'll admit that was a decent move considering I had no space. As I forget about the braking zone for this corner being special, as I then lose all traction. Which means Russell and Weber and Leclerc all get past me. I lie. Just Russell. This traction out there is now being special, which I think means it's almost time for inters. If I'm losing traction that easily now out of corners, I think it's time for inters. Because I was not losing traction. It's either meaning it's time for inters, or my car can't handle 20% wear. I might be risky and box in next lap for inters, but it's not a risk I'm willing to really take without hurting a good car.
Going to be with us for a while now. Okay, I think it might be just about time to come and change these tyres.
So yeah.
Pitting this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap.
So yeah, I'm gonna be the first one onto the inters, unless everyone else in front of me comes in too. But I know I'm coming in on this lap. So I'm either going to follow or I'm going to be first one.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
That just proves it's time.
Understood, copy that.
Alright, chill. Hey, we're actually not losing out that badly anymore on the exit, so this just proves the pace of our car is actually decent. As we just got snapper oversteer, which I almost thought was Weber hitting me, but using the backwards camera showed that it wasn't that close.
Past, increase ERS deployment to overtake mode.
As the Mercs have double stacked and still kept their 1-2, I lie. They gotta double stack and they gotta lose their 1-2 because I'm tempted to go for the extra lap, but Shaw went on for the extra lap and he's gotta lose like 10 seconds because it's now the crossover point. And we'll also probably lose out big time here because it's the crossover point. We didn't lose that much time. Yeah, we got jumped by Weber, but we probably jumped like two guys.
Speed now. Let's get some heat into those tires.
Yeah, we probably jumped one or two guys while losing out to Weber and Russell. So basically, we're now running our setup to the end. 310 wings. You can definitely see it's helping us on the straight. But let's just see if we lose out big time to Weber on exit this corner. Yep, we still do. So, yep, still got to do the auto 3 to 4, and maybe even 2 to 3, because 2 to 3 isn't helping 3 to 4. So.
Certainly eased off for the time being, but we've still got a lot of standing water out there. We're happy for you to stay out on the inters for now. Charles is in the pits.
Yep. We get past all these guys legit.
To mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
As we're in P9. I mean, P7 is almost right in front of us. Purple first sector, which isn't that surprising considering it's just now the crossover point, so no one's really set a proper competitive lap. Okay, yeah. There we go. The first flashback, I knew it was coming eventually, considering it was going to be a wet race, but didn't think it would come this... Actually, I probably thought it was going to come by later. Or, yeah, when it first came to inters, because I wouldn't be used to the grip levels, so... Still not helping. Even though I got 3 on rear wing, it feels like I've got no rear wing still. So, that's just great. Don't we just love feeling like we have no grip when we got grip for days? Those two where his turns had the points.
Gap to teammate behind is 2.3 seconds.
Using Rich and overtake, we gained bare time from Weber down the back straight, and so we've got to worry about our exit. Yeah, 17th, 3rd to 4th gear taking too long. That is definitely our weak point, 3rd to 4th gear. And 2nd to 3rd is also not really happening. Knowing that the car behind is capable of setting 24 per lap is not so comforting. So yeah, we can get purple first sectors, purple third sectors, but we'll never set purple middle sector because of our setup. So we go deep. This is how we got Charles. We didn't go as deep on Charles though, so that's that chance out the window. And the gap's back to 6/10 ahead, which is absolutely what you want, as Grosjean, I'm pretty sure, is the one's out.
Safety car, no overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
Well, this is a great twist.
There's static over the radio, say again. The tyre situation is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
So it's starting to ease off on the inters even.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Okay. Like, if I knew it was almost time for slicks, I would come in for slicks, but
Stay out,
it's way too early.
There's no need to box under this safety car. We have nothing to gain from new tyres.
So yeah, that is just Jeff confirming my suspicions, as Charlotte and I, although being up and down, are back into 9th and 10th. Didn't just love that.
Some of those puddles are clearing. We're still on the right tyre for the time being, but we're not a million miles away from slick conditions.
So we're not a million miles away from slick conditions, meaning that in like 5 laps, I'm saying it's basically 5 minutes, probably 4 laps after it stops raining, it'll be time for the slicks, which I can't wait for, I'm not gonna lie. We can really just push out of most corners, considering we've got 310 wings. I mean, the only limit we have is the front of the car not wanting to bite in. And to bounce that up, we could just run 510, but you know, we'll reach the 6-car train after everyone else. After everyone else, I mean a bit after Weber. But the drier the track gets, the more we come into our own. We have the pace to finish inside the top 5. I want to at least finish top 8 after what happened last time in a wet race, but that was full wet the whole time. So considering only one flashback so far, and we're pretty much halfway through. It's pretty good.
Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
So yeah, we're pretty much at the time where the game starts being vague because it's almost time. So that's when you start asking for tyre
status.
status.
It's really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold off the Inters for a while longer. A touch, please. We need to close to within 10 car lengths of the car ahead. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Unlike last race, I'm prepared and I'm not going to lose 1.1 seconds in one sector to the car ahead. Given the car ahead isn't Lewis Hamilton this time.
Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Oh no, I accidentally pressed X instead of square.
Copy that.
Saying lap 26 for slicks. No, I'm saying it'll probably be earlier than 26. We're gaining on Weber, but not by enough to really make a move into the hairpin. So we just gotta stay still. We'll probably gotta lose like 3 positions on exit of hairpin.
Okay, we've got plenty of energy. Switch to overtake and have a go.
We don't even lose a single position. That just shows that me now controlling 3rd to 4th shifts out of there is helping. Because normally I run auto gearbox, but you can also manually upshift. So just doing that out of the hairpin really does help. Shifting up earlier than the game does, meaning that we're not getting as much engine lag out of there. The longer I wait for drives, the longer this race is going to be. The longer, the harder this race is going to be, so yeah, that's a legit line for turn 1. I love how legit that turn 1 line was. No undercutting at all. Purple first sector, yeah, totally legit. No undercutting at all. Braking work tells you can go flat. It's rather massively early upshift, in my opinion.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
I just don't have any pace, and the Inters are pushing the engine to keep up with the guys ahead. This is not something I normally do, but I'm just gonna let Charles through, see if he can attack the guys ahead, and I'll just be a rear gunner for him, making sure he keeps it inside the points. I'll worry about the threat from behind of Perez, let him get ahead. Go after Perez, there's a big gap behind, as I'm saying. Perez is the last guy who actually pace.
Let's turn up the ERS deployment and burn some of this energy.
His teammate probably does too, but his teammate's in that train from P12 back, so...
The gap to the car ahead is 1.5 seconds.
Might be 1.5 seconds to the car ahead, but I don't care. At this point in time, I'd just be happy with like 2 points. That's not an exaggeration, I would be happy with 2 points in this race. Seeing how it's going for me. Just like, Leclerc has pace, he's already attacking Weber, sorry.
Engine is showing small signs of wear. Power output will be down.
Yep, so that's the internal combustion engine wearing. That's fine, we've got like 6 or 7 parts on each side of the engine, so we should be good for no more engine penalties for the rest of the season. It's all because I took loads when I had bad qualies earlier on this season. Obviously the past 2 races have been not exactly top class. I mean this one and the last one. That's because they've had rain, where my car doesn't really excel. Leclerc is getting so close to Lucas Weber, he's literally almost pushing him through the hairpin. Oh, what was that? Somehow that made sure we pushed away from Perez, so apparently skipping 4th gear.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.9 seconds.
Two seconds to Charles, we gained on him last lap somehow. I think it's because like there's almost no rain at this point, so it's getting closer and closer to slick conditions with where I'm actually good in. And the gap to Charles is nowhere near as big as it was. See, I've learnt how to do the exit out of this corner. Rich and hot lap. Apparently that reduces wheel spin instead of lean and non-reducing wheel spin. great Cody's logic, but I'll take what's given. So. Not gonna lie, this is like the first race Haas's actually pace since becoming the fastest car. I mean, in general, this is like the first race they've had pace and Grosjean's out. Some AI are coming in for another set of inters probably. I don't see them coming onto slicks now. That just seems way too far-fetched, so I'm just gonna check the race director. And from what I can see, onto another set of inters, so that is very interesting, not what I would have expected, considering the AI should have less wear than me. I said the AI, not the Hey Siri. I hate my phone for doing that, but oh, and it just did it again when I said that, so. But this race, not exactly going bad, considering I'm up in P5. Don't think I got to make it into stop again.
Right, tyre situation. We're good for the time being, but you are going to start to notice the wear, so make sure it doesn't catch you out.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm already running low front end, so I'm not even feeling the understeer that badly. But yeah, the leaders just stopped behind the train.
+1. Faster engine modes are available.
Verstappen's behind us. He's just been struggling with pace all weekend. So is Pierre, but oh, the AI are in now for another stop on inters, which is really unorthodox. Considering this track looks like it could be.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Could be like no need for the second inters, but this puts us out in the race lead. So I'm not gonna complain if that's what it does. So if it puts me in the lead, I'm not gonna complain. So the cars behind will be 6, 7 tenths or a lot faster than me on average. So it should only take them tops lap 28 probably to catch up to me. But it won't be that bad.
It looks like we'll be running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly.
Yeah, back to dry shortly apparently, according to Jeff. I'm just hoping that the sooner that comes the better, because right now we're in the lead, so. I like how I randomly pick a title for every single race, depending on how I think it's gonna go, because obviously I have to live stream it, so I can't see what happens before I pick the title, and then it always ends up happening. So when I try to clickbait it with.
Let's use some of this energy. Increase the ERS deployment.
When I tried to clickbait it ages ago with the shock qualifying result, I actually did really badly, and I was out in Q1. In this race I put shock race result.
We're leading our teammate by 11.8 seconds.
And I'm leading the race even though I can't race in the wet. That just proves my point of shock race result. Although I'm trying to clickbait, I can never get away with it.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh, okay, it's gonna be switched on to dries now, so it's still too early, but.
I'm not sure that these tyres are the right ones. It might be time to come in and change.
I'm not gonna switch him this lap. I'm saying, okay, yes, this lap, okay, never mind. Apparently it's time for the slicks. And we're still leading the race when it's time to get onto slicks, so this is definitely going to be a shock race result to say the least. Considering the tyres literally feel dead at this point. I've got no grip in them left. And though one of them still doesn't reach 40%, that's the front right, and that's...
The tyre situation is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now.
Well, that's wrong then. to say the least. So yeah, the worst we can do is get held up by no one, because, yeah.
Charles is in the pits. Exit out.
Yeah, we're not going to get held up, so Magnussen gets held up, so we get a clean sail out of the pits.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
And behind us is just going to be living hell, so we're now leading the race, and everyone's going on mediums to the end, so really I'm actually racing for track position now. I never thought I'd be racing for a race win, considering my setup, but apparently with this very setup I'm racing for a win. But in my opinion, that's because I never really thought that I would be stupid enough to do what they just did, as Magnus and Bottas fight through the hairpin. So that's going to be very interesting. If they crash each other out, I would not say no to that. So please, if you two have souls, crash into each other. Yeah. Purple middle sector, that's probably because no one else set a purple, or in middle sector yet in the dry. Yeah. So yeah, if there is someone to put in, I'll go 1. As I say that, there's yellow flags for Vettel.
They are out of the race.
Vettel goes out of the famous corner, but I think this time it's because of a crash between him and Gasly. So I really want to see this. So he's already slowing down. Gasly comes to pass him, and Gasly goes out by hitting Vettel, who is retiring from mechanical issues. So that was just unfortunate timing for Gasly. If he just waited for maybe 5 more seconds before trying anything, he might not be out, but we obviously can't predict stuff like that. All I need now is like a safety car to take us to the end, like from now to the end.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace. Yellow flag. Someone's come up ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
So yeah, through lap 27 into 34, we're having a very interesting battle happening right behind us, which is gonna contain us now, considering we don't have enough straight line speed to keep up with these guys, as we're like a second a lap off them. So that just proves how much having to run this 10 rear wing is hampering us. But we still have a lot of pace in this car, and we've done the Max Verstappen. So as I wanted to, we've done the Max Verstappen. We've had our dream come back, as somehow Magnussen was able to go up or inside there. To which I say no. Back off. This is my race lead. You're not going that cleanly around my outside and keeping it. I'm saying in the third section I'm going to run none that way, lean on the fuel, that way everywhere else I can just attack. So as I almost lost it up there. So yeah.
Gap to teammate behind is 12.1 seconds.
So yeah, Magnussen's going to try and get past us again into the hairpin. as we again touch, and I again am just gonna squeeze him out because I cannot be asked to keep on fighting him when he just keeps on stupidly not leaving any space for my moves back into the hairpin. Yes, obviously he does technically kind of have a racing line, but doesn't mean he has the inside line, which is why you have to give respect to the hairpins. So, and third sector again, well, we really just make up all our time. The longer this goes on for, the more confident I get, and the easier it is for me. So these last 5-4 laps are going to be very interesting.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Very much in my favour. If I was smart enough to time this, I would obviously let the guys behind through and let Magnussen through. As we lay off the throttle, we make the corner, but I'm pretty sure Magnussen turned in on us there. Yep. So, we made the corner. Magnussen didn't make space for me, and we're back in the same predicament of there's no space, which isn't really my fault considering you need to leave space. Every single apex of every single lap, you always need to leave space. So, it's kind of his own fault. So yeah, I found out the fuel is very easy to protect at this point, and it's definitely a 3-horse race at this point for the race win, considering the gap behind Bottas is almost not a postcode. We mess up that, which is great. But Bottas seems like he's gonna try and attack K-Mag, so please Bottas, if you're going to, please do it. I cannot be bothered with this guy anymore. Magnussen does not have that overspeed on us this time. That'll break us into the hairpin, so us keeping the lead for the first time and not being stupidly challenged into the hairpin, so I will take that. But this time Magnussen gets OP exit and still doesn't attack us into the mini stadium before the actual stadium section, so
Vehicle is looking really good. You're managing it well.
so yeah, I'm probably for the last 3 laps just go rich only, because we've done a lot of fuel saving to the point that we can afford to do that now for these last 3 laps. We're obviously not going to get the point for fastest lap, I don't truly have pace. I'm only just about able to keep these 2 behind me. By able to keep these 2 behind me, I mean be a wily old fox and do a switchback on K-Mag. And I'm just gonna try and let K-Mag through here so that I get DRS off of him. So I lift off there quickly. And then we get DRS, slipstream and overtake mode on Magnussen. So Magnussen gets a taste of his own medicine here into the hairpin of what it's like to get DRS overtaken into there. As Bottas even tries around the outside of K-Mag this time. As Bottas still stuck behind the Haas, still no way around, so set purple middle sector because we had DRS, so that will probably be the only purple middle sector we'll ever set over this weekend, considering the rear wing we've had to run.
Increase ERS deployment. It's time to use
Make
some
the
of this
first
charge.
25 laps work. But Magnussen is almost out of our DRS, so if we can just make that gap the tiniest bit bigger, that would help. So
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Bottas is getting attacked by Magnussen, which is basically the only thing we could ask for in this penultimate lap, sorry. The only thing we can really ask for is for those two to be fighting. And for Leclerc to now be up into P4, so from what was struggling in the wet, the McLarens are thriving in the dry. From 9th and 10th, pretty much in both stints. We go all the way up into 1st and 4th. Not the end to the race I was expecting, but if it's the one we get, I'm not going to be complaining.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
It's about time Leclerc starts performing. It's almost about time I start performing too. Because me and him have been having very nice on-track battles all season. This is the one time we haven't been that badly fighting, and it seems right now we're going to be getting up a very well deserved win. By that I mean because I struggled through him dead inters, but that doesn't matter right now, as Magnussen out-tractions Bottas. So that will probably mean that Magnussen will get P2 unless Bottas does something in the stadium section on this last lap. But it's highly unlikely. At this point I don't really care, because we're guaranteed the win unless I do something stupid in the stadium section, which I haven't done, and that's like where I always make the mistakes. So I feel pretty safe, as we even have time for a bit of an understeer. So yeah, that just proves the gap we had.
Nice work, that's P1. Race win. Well done.
Yeah. And it was actually a deserved race win this time, unlike most times.
Brilliant stuff from McLaren today. What a superb victory. Anthony was apart today.
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm really happy to see them there on the top step of the podium. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. After today's performance, Valtteri Bottas secures the championship lead. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So we get the full 26 points. Sadly, Charles loses out on 6 points for the team, but I can't really complain considering our car doesn't work in the rain and we somehow get a 1-4 in a race where it's wet for 24 laps pretty much and dry for 10, so I have to take what I can.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Do you have any comments about the collisions?
Yeah, not gonna lie, that was actually a hit.
You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you...
I didn't get anywhere near any walls.
Well, thanks anyway.
So that's a bit of a lie. and obviously we're gonna beat out both very massively, and we're gonna get a lot of rep to the point that we're maxing with everyone. And apparently we're Mr. Veteran, even though apparently being
Great work this weekend. It was fantastic to see you up on that podium.
in the sport for like a year is apparently being a veteran, so that makes sense. Just like how we can only afford one of these upgrades, which I don't do, so might as well just go with weight reduction. So if that goes to plan, we should jump Merc and get ever closer to the other team, who we don't speak of. Rich Energy House, who should just be House now because Rich Energy aren't even part of their team anymore. But it was a very interesting Hockenheim, very interesting 2-stop over the AI's 3-stop, which really gave us the race win there. So thank you for wasting your time watching madness.